Well, first of all, I have to be very cautious because I'm Belgian and I'm my two major banker sitting there. So I'll turn my tongue 7 times in my mouth before I speak. But let's say, generally speaking, it's evident that having debt is much more difficult than it used to be. So we are all thinking of new business models, trying to be very creative. It's clear that we all expect that maybe the insurance companies at some point will step in this market and maybe replace what the bankers are not doing anymore. It's not as simple as that because an insurance company is not a banker and hasn't got the know-how. What is very strange, but it's more specific to Belgium, is that you have seen some listed developers. It's already strange to be listed and a developer listed because it's hard to produce a quarterly profit as a developer or even an annual profit. But nevertheless, you have seen some listed developers in this country who have been able to issue bonds at very low yield. I remember a year and a half ago, one of our well-known developer, a good company, nothing to do with the company, but they raised that bonds issue at 5 point something for a development risk and even a pre-development risk. So maybe one answer will be, although I don't think it's a good idea for a developer, but to try to buy an existing company or do an IPO whenever the market will be open, because it opens you to the capacity of bond issue, and as a non-listed company, it's virtually impossible.
How about you in terms of financing?
The Dutch market at least provides some insurance companies and some pension funds with real large equity inflows, and these pension funds have the possibility to step in a project in a very early stage and to finance the project from the pre-development phase and land acquisition phase. So that really helps in getting developments lively and getting them to the market. So besides the difficulty in getting debt financing, on the other hand, for the best projects, it is still available, okay, but on lower levels than before. And on the other hand, we have the pension funds and insurance companies that really have large possible hundreds of millions of equity available to do projects. So. But yes, it is more difficult and sometimes extremely difficult, but it is possible. Yeah.
And are you advising investors who are coming into the Benelux markets, Tristan? And if so, in terms of financing, are they getting financing? What are you advising them?
Well, on the financing, I think it's indeed big pension funds are looking still for projects or larger projects. I think there is a difference between smaller, medium-sized projects and the larger projects. You see a lot of appetite indeed for the bigger projects because there is indeed pension funds and other funds who are interested. On the other hand, if you see what we saw also is a shift from indirect investment to direct investment. Clients like to control more, or if they like to step in a fund, they like more liquidity. So not too much closed-end fund anymore. So more, or if there is a kind of closed-end, more liquidity and step out every 1 year and a half and so on. So liquidity, flexibility is much more. But what we see also in trend is definitely the more family offices and wealthy individuals who are stepping in with a loan or with equity.
Okay, great.
I'd like just to add that one thing that surprised me is that the private equity people, the small private equity closed fund, are obviously back in business. The problem is that they haven't changed their business model, so they still hope to do a 20% return in 4 years and all this bullshit. And so if anyone is looking for money at 20%, I can give him a list of people and he can raise €1 billion. I'm sorry, but sometimes I do it. A miracle always happens. Sometimes you are very lucky, but I just don't believe that you can, on a long-term base, generate 20% return, because if it was so simple, you would all be in real estate. Maybe you are, but the rest of the people around would be in real estate.
Thanks.
Perhaps I have to add that I do see a change because we are doing also infrastructure projects, and there we see that the return is lowering from private equity. In real estate, not yet.